Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Thanks.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
We're here with Justin the Nightmare Street, returning back to Caveman's Corner. He was just here not too long ago on the podcast when I was out of town, and Ray handled it. He had a bunch of the fighters on, and man, usually Caveman's Corner is undefeated. I guess you're still undefeated though. Like the people that come on the podcast almost always win.
I think one of the guys lost, Caveman.
Yeah, one of the guys lost, and you kind of lost too because you had your fight already. You cut down to 125 pounds. And then no fight. Can you tell the fans what happened since last time you were on?
Yeah, so last time we were on, we were getting ready, and we had went through a nice little fight camp, getting ready for my debut in Hollywood, Florida, February 2nd. Unfortunately, the night of the fight, I got called back. I got called out in the hallway, out of the locker room as we were getting ready to tape up my wrist. And then Andy Hall goes, "Hey, Mr. Street, we need to see you out in the hallway." So I got pulled out in the hallway. Dave Feldman comes walking up, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Street, thank you for being professional, on your end. However, your opponent's being arrested as we speak. They have him at gunpoint." I go, "You're messing with me, man." I go, "You're messing with me." And he goes, "No, unfortunately, I'm not. I wish I was." And when he said that, dude, I mean, I instantly, I looked at my, my teammate, my cornerman, and I just dropped, I was heartbroken. It was definitely a devastating blow. It was the shot that I've always been dreaming of. The opponent I really wanted to, get in there with. So I mean, it was definitely, it hurt big time to the core. So, and like I said, I lost 43 pounds to prepare for that fight. So to go through all that struggle, the mental and all that stuff, and then to have it just fall through and slip through your fingers, you just kind of feel like you're getting robbed of everything. So
yeah, were you able to get paid for that fight at least?
Yep. So I was able to get my show money, and then a ticket to the fight. That was pretty much it. So like I said, I would much rather have the publicity, so that people would have got the chance to know, the Nightmare as I am, and my kind of style in the ring. I feel like this is where I belong. So I mean, out of all the combat sports I've done, this is definitely where my bread and butter is boxing. So
I love that, man. I love that they paid you too. Like the UFC, like they didn't pay the show money for I can't even remember for Wonder Boy. When Wonder Boy fought, he didn't get his show money. Like I think that's awesome that David Feldman like paid you your show money at least. Like
yeah, no, Dave Feldman's a great guy. I mean, BKFC and all around, we're all a great staff, great organization. They definitely looked out. They definitely made sure that I was taken care of and making sure that they were going to get me back out on another card. And they did just that. I mean, they stuck to their word. Dave Feldman told me that he would have me on another card right away. Stay ready. So I did just that. And then Carlos, my manager with CNC Management, great guy as well. I mean, they definitely did their thing. So I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm just ready to get in here and showcase, what I'm capable of.
yeah, man, we can't wait to see that happen. What weight are you fighting this time? 25 again?
Nope. So this time we'll be at 135. I'm fighting Anthony Sanchez. He's a 1-1 BKFC guy. I don't think he's ever been finished. So it's definitely got fight of the night written all over it, and potential knockout. I mean, I'm looking to get in here and really put my hands on this guy and really show the world just exactly who Justin the Nightmare Street is.
But I know you have like a lot of MMA experiences. Do you think that gives you a huge advantage when you're in the clinch, like that 30 boxing clinch?
Absolutely. When it comes to the clinch game, I mean, it's all about turning them in, turning them out. It's all underhooks, overhooks. So with having that kind of experience and knowing how to tie up somebody and knowing how to slipping an underhook and turn them and all that stuff, I definitely feel like that gives me a huge advantage to when it comes to the clinch game or the dirty boxing.
Do you ever want to like body lock a guy and just earth him like every now and then?
You said what?
Do you ever want to like just body lock a guy and like just belly him right over? Like I know you did a
Yeah,
lot of
I
MMA.
mean,
Like
it popped in my head. I'm more of a I rather stand and bang, so I'm not really down for the takedowns. But I mean the thought's there. Don't get me wrong. I mean I'm a vicious guy when I'm in the ring, so I mean it's that on switch, off switch type of deal. Once that switch gets flicked on, it's it's go game. So
so I know you have all kinds of experience in multiple disciplines of martial arts. I know that you coach as well. Like, what do you do to prep for a bare knuckle fight? What do you do to keep your hands healthy? What do you do to keep them hard? Like, what's the training like? I really don't I'm really kind of interested in what you do for your knuckles and your hand care and like what you do to get ready and how you spar even.
so I spar every day. We do about 10 to 15 rounds daily. Um, I spar with guys heavier, bigger, same size. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as we're getting the work in, that's just about it. My cornerman Eric Reeves, he's been really a big sparring partner with me. Me and him will go 10 rounds, and then after me and him are done sparring, I also jump in with other bodies as well. And then we also travel to different gyms and get in different looks with other fighters.
So when you're sparring, what else gloves are you wearing?
So I wear the MMA training gloves.
So like
Um,
eights or sixes, whatever they
yeah,
are.
they're 6 inches,
Yeah,
6 ounces.
the poofy ones.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Does that
And then when I hit the bag, I don't wear any gloves. I hit the bag bare fist, barehanded, just to kind of just strengthen up the skin, really more or less than anything else. It's not really about the feeling. It's not really about toughening up your hands or anything like that. I think that's a little overrated. Uh,
mhm.
I'm more so when I was a freshman year in high school, I was playing football on the football team, and long story short, I ended up fracturing my C7 and snapping my vertebrae in half.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so I ended up in the hospital. I was, paralyzed from the waist down. I lost feeling in my hands. Well, 9 months in being in the hospital, when I walked, I mean, I guess like it was a miracle in a way you could say, because at the same time I lost the feeling in my hands, I gained the feeling back in my legs. So I was able to walk out of the hospital. Um, and I've never looked back since. I took my, that was God's gift. That was his way of telling me that you need, you're meant to walk. You're meant to, put these legs to use. You're meant to, I gave you stone hands for a reason. Let's utilize them. So I mean, I took that gift and I've ran with it ever since. And yeah,
That's awesome. I hear your son in the background. We talked about him earlier in the green room, and it's awesome to hear him. Can you tell a little bit about like how your son's been with you the whole time and now how he's starting to like train as well?
yeah. My son is he's my main motivation. I mean, without my son, I honestly I don't know exactly where I would be today. He really pushes me. He every day in the gym, outside the gym, he's just all around. Like I said, he's my motivation. I've had him in the gym since the day he was born. I've had him in the car seat. I'd bring him to the gym with me. I'd have him in the car seat. All the women at the gym would all love it. Oh, let me hold him. Let me hold him. So they would kind of like take over for me while I was able to train and all that stuff. And then now as he's getting older, now he's 4 years old. He'll be 5 in July, and now he's starting to do it himself. He's really taken really highly to the gym. He loves it. He loves everybody in there. He does He does like a kickboxing Muay Thai classes Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's from 5 to 6 underneath one of our coaches, Nick Filion. Great guy, great coach all around. He's great with the kids. And yeah, he's my son. My son, he's a natural. It's really good. It brings back the excitement for me to see him in there and enjoying it as well. So
Heck yeah, you got him doing jujitsu too.
he will be next year. Next year he'll start jujitsu, and then I'm also going to have him start in wrestling when he's 6 years old. So
Oh yeah,
he'll be very well rounded as well.
You want a green one? You like
man. He wants a green one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's like I said, he's my pride and joy.
That's great. And what are you looking to do in the sport? What's your goal? I know like you're pro now. Like, are you gonna go into coaching? What are you trying to do? Like,
No, I'm looking to collect straps.
yeah,
I'm here to make my name known. I am the best, and I'm gonna prove it. One way or another. So if that's me taking the 125 belt from John Dobson, then let's get it going. If that's me taking the 135 strap, then hey, let's get it going. What I would like, my ultimate goal with BKFC is for me to get all three belts. I want 125, 135, and then I want to go to 145 and take the 45 strap as well. And once I get all three belts, then I'll hang it up, and then I'll dedicate the rest to my son, and let his career blossom if that's what he
man,
chooses to do.
that'd be awesome. First triple crown.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do.
What do you weigh?
Right now, I'm walking around at 145. I got a little bit more weight to lose. I got 10 more pounds to lose. But I mean, it's nothing. It's mainly water weight right now. So
Yeah, definitely. Like, man, 25, 35, 45.
yeah.
That's such a huge difference. Like, people that don't fight don't understand what those 10 pounds are. Like,
That's just
yeah,
it. That 10 pounds, especially when you're cutting weight and you're like, oh, I got this, I got this. You get down to that last 5 pounds, and it's like, okay, how come it ain't coming off? Those are what we call the stubborn pounds. So
yeah,
um, it's just you gotta stick to the grind. You grind day in and day out, and you gotta stay positive. The more you're staying positive, and the more you don't think negative, and you keep one foot in front of the other, and you just keep moving forward. I feel like that it has a big part to do with things.
yeah, for sure. And what I meant by that is like, so a 120-pound fighter is usually walking around like 140, 145. 130-pound fighter is like 150. 145 pounders walk around like 170, 180. Like they're big dudes, man. Like,
Yeah, no. I mean, I walk around at 165. When I'm not cutting for a fight or anything like that, I walk around at 160 to 165. Like I said, when that contract comes across, regardless if it says 125, 135, or whatever it says, I get busy. So I mean, like my fight for February 2nd, I was supposed to be at 125, and I lost 43 pounds to prepare for that one. So cutting weight for me is not it's not something that I worry about. It's not something that concerns me at all, because I give myself the correct time to do so. And I have a great nutritionist behind me with Westfit Fitness, Mike Toller. The guy's amazing. He keeps me in shape. He keeps me eating right. And that's how I'm able to stay healthy and stay in the gym. So
So,
so
so how
go
do
ahead.
you like? How do you feel like after the weight cut, after the weigh-ins? How do you refuel your body?
so as soon as I step off the scale, I usually do about Pedialyte or two Pedialytes, and then I'll do a Pedialyte, a bottle of water, a half a Pedialyte, and then I'll try to get like a protein bar in me just to kind of expand my stomach. And then after like a half hour of getting that protein bar in me, then it's like, okay, time to go eat. And we
Yeah,
go and we eat lots of protein, lots of rice, lots of uh, not lots of carbs, but majority of carbs and protein, because you need your carbs for energy and you need your protein for strength. So, and then I eat a lot of rice and black beans. With the black beans, it's another source of protein, and it's also got a lot of other vitamins in it that a lot of people that don't really know about.
I like that. That's awesome, man. What do you weigh? So when you fight 125 and you make weight, obviously the next day is when you fight. What do you weigh when you step into the ring?
So by the time I step in the ring, I'm probably 145 pounds. If
Man,
I go down
so
to 125, it's 145. If I go down to 135, I'm looking at 155. 45, I'd probably be at 160 again.
yeah. So
I
like
put on
you
I put
you
on about 12 to 15 pounds every time I step off the scale.
yeah, it might be small for that. I mean, 40. That doesn't mean anything. Like it's
Now,
boxing.
size,
It's not like
it
jiu-jitsu where
ain't
someone's
about
gonna
the
hold you
size of the
down.
person. It's about the size of the heart. And
Yeah.
that's what I've told my son, and that's what, I preach to these kids, and I preach to all my, training partners and all the new guys starting off. It's, you can't worry about the size of the dog. It's the heart that's in the dog. So, and that's the main thing. If you have the heart and if you got the courage, go get it. Don't let fear scare you away.
Hey,
So
Justin, and this fight you got coming up, are you gonna have the longer reach advantage, you think,
Yep.
or
Yeah, I'm gonna have
okay?
the longer reach. I feel like he doesn't really have anything to offer me except for an overhand right. You can see it coming from a mile away. It's nothing that I haven't seen before. So it's just a matter of getting in there, sticking to my game plan, getting that jab flowing, and my movement. My footwork is a big base to my fight style. I like to move. Um, I stay light on my feet. I stick and move, and I like making people miss. The more I make people miss, the more confidence it gives me, and the more I get in the rhythm. It's a scary night for my opponent.
You make a miss and counter, right?
No, absolutely.
so you feel like you're more of a rhythm fighter than too. Like you really get into the rhythm. I
Oh,
like that.
absolutely.
Like
It's
Sugar
like writing
Sean.
music. You know, you
Yeah.
a singer can't get into rhythm unless they get that good beat going. Well, I mean, it's the same thing when you're in that ring. You got to get that good beat going. You got to get that good rhythm going. You got to get that nice bounce going. It's just it's all. I don't want to say it's a lot of mental, but at the same time, it's a big part of mental for me because with that rhythm and when you feel comfortable with that music that's in your head and that rhythm that you're popping off with, you feel like you're in sync and nothing can stop you. You're untouchable.
So what do you do to get that music started playing when the bell rings? Like what puts you into that zone where you hear the music and you're really moving and you just settle into the rhythm?
It's my
What
walkout.
sets it up?
The
The
walkout.
walkout?
The
Okay.
walkout alone. So the backstage is where you prep. The backstage is where you warm up at. That walkout, that's when that pin's about to drop through that door. You're about to step through those ropes, and it's go time. And you got all your family and your friends and your peers, looking up to you. So you got to go in there and you got to, it's showtime. You got to show out. You're there for one thing and one thing only, and that's uh, you know, proved that, that all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into the gym, and then all these hours that you spend away from your family and your kids. This is that moment. This is what it all boils down to. So if I'm going to sacrifice being away from my children and my family, you best believe it. When I step into that ring, that rhythm is in flow because I'm there to I gotta set the tone. So when that first jab snaps off and I watch his head snap back, believe me, it's go time.
I like that. That's
I like
there's
that.
no mental arithmetic to that at all. You're just like I go out there and it's already there. Like
It's
I like
business
that
time.
that
Yeah, it's business.
plan. What did you do to develop that? Like I know a lot of guys like they feel uncomfortable when they first start and it takes them like 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds just to feel that flow. And what did you learn that lets that switch flip immediately that you
The
get
way
out
I
to a fast
grew up.
start?
I mean, it was the way I grew up. I mean, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. I mean, we were the only white family in the neighborhood. So I mean, you didn't have that time to warm up. You didn't have that time to,
Detroit, right?
get that mental right. Yeah, yep.
Detroit.
So I mean, you step off the school bus and you had, 3, 4 kids jumping on your back, or kids walking out from behind the party store ready to fight you as you just stepped off the bus. So I mean, it was like, all right, well, here we go. Make my day. Let's get it. And that was it. I mean, me and my younger brother, we had to fight back to back plenty of times because we had to fight off many other kids because of our color of our skin or because of our shoes that we had on, or whatever the case may have been. So I mean, fighting for me, I mean, it's something that I've done my whole life. I mean, I fought to get to where I'm at today in my life. Um, I fight every day. I fight every day to be a great father. I fight every day to be the man I am. So that mental stage is already there. It's just a matter of me flicking that switch and getting in that zone and staying in that zone.
I like it. I wish that was something that was easier to teach. Like what you told me doesn't help me with my guys, but I appreciate like
You
how
gotta,
good it makes you.
caveman, you got to move in the hood.
I guess I can make all my guys live in the hood. You gotta live in the hood for like 8 months, and then you can go fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up there, so I mean, I want to say from the time I was, 6 years old to about 12, 13 years old. I mean, that's where we lived. So I mean, you fight them all, and then you become best friends with them all, and then it's just the part of life, I guess. It comes full cycle.
Yeah, it did. What did you think you were gonna be when you were that age and that was happening? Did you think that like you would be a professional fighter?
So I definitely took in boxing. So I mean, I was jumped. I had, my face kicked in. I walked home one day from school and I had, my teeth were out. I'm holding my tooth in, and I walked in the door and my dad, what happened? I go, I just got off the school bus. It was my one, the one day my younger brother didn't go to school with me and he was sick. So I mean, as I got off the bus, these kids were waiting for me. I had a pair of LeBron James shoes on, fresh. It was his first brand of shoes that he came out with. They were all white. And as soon as I got off the bus, it was, I was getting pushed down to the ground. I looked back and the school driver or the bus driver, she's just driving off, like pretty much waving by at me. So, I mean, it was like, here we go, So I took my beating, I got my licks in when they counted, and then, I was able to walk home. So, I mean, when you're fighting kids that are, 15, 16 years old and you're only 9, it brings the dog out of you. It brings a different breed, I guess. I don't really know what else to say.
Turns you into the nightmare.
Yeah, that's it. And my uncle Mike, he's actually the one who gave me the nickname Nightmare. Rest in peace, his soul. But yeah, he's the one that actually told me, you're the Nightmare. You got to go in here and you got to show these guys you're the Nightmare. And that's how it all began. Nightmare on Elm Street. It's stuck ever since.
I like it. Did you think that MMA was gonna be the future for you, or were you always looking to get into like boxing and straight up striking? Like,
So the first time I ever walked into a boxing gym, I fell in love instantly. I walked in there. I was a young, cocky, arrogant kid. I was young, and I didn't think nothing of it. I go, yeah, you're bringing me to a boxing gym for what? What are these guys gonna do to me? And I walked in and it was like a different atmosphere. I instantly fell in love. I felt just being able to hit somebody and get hit back and not get in trouble for it. For me, that was like the world. I was like, it was like a kid walking into a candy store. So I fell in love with the part of getting hit and being able to return shots and watching somebody hit you as hard as they can and you being able to smile back at them and watching their eyes get about this big like that. I look forward to that. That's something that intrigues me. That's something that really gets my blood pumping and really makes it to where I'm able to flick that switch and go forward.
did you experience anyone that was really, really good the first day in the gym? Like the first time I sparred, man, I fought this guy and I just could not touch him. Like I was like, oh my god, why can't I hit this guy? And then he's just like touching you up and feeling you up, and like he's having a good time, because he's so much better than you.